Welcome to Sideline Judgment. My name is Sergio.
My name is Tyler.
And today we will be talking about the much anticipated college football playoff rankings post rivalry week. We will then be talking about a whole lot of different things happening. We got some players transferring. We got some coaches stepping down. We got some extensions. We got a whole lot of things to talk about in quick hits. Then, Tyler, the meat and potatoes of this week's championship edition of Sideline Judgment. That's right. All 10 games will be picked. All 10 games will have points implications in our annual five-wide series this season. One of those games, Tyler, will be worth double the points. You get the choice. I get the choice to pick it. We're just going to jump right into this thing. You already know what's going to happen. It's championship week. It's one of the best weeks of the year. Let's start off where we belong, which is the college football playoff rankings. Tyler, we are going to play our time-tested game of too high, too low, just right. And we begin, as always, at the tippity top, the whipped cream and the cherry of the sundae, Tyler. The last little garnish, the little lemon zest on top of the little sundae. That's right. Don't look at me that way. It tastes good. Let's go ahead and start.
You put lemon zest on your sundae?
You never tried it?
No.
Try it. It gives it a little poop at the top. Because It's not much. It's not like into the ice cream.
Okay,
but it's just like on the top, just give it like...
Okay, I can see that now.
Yeah.
See that.
Anyway, don't judge me like that. Come on.
I was inquiring. I was asking a follow-up, okay?
You know where they don't do that?
What?
You know where they don't do that?
Where?
In Columbus, Ohio. But they don't have to because they got the number one football team in the country, Tyler. The Ohio State Buckeyes staying put at number one. And the top four stays put. Ohio State 1, LSU 2, Clemson 3, Georgia 4. We're going to just assume, and we're just going to, for the sake of
I'm fine with that.
Not wasting any time, we know what it is. We've been here before. I do want to bring up one coach named Dabo Swinney, and Tyler's already has a baby.
Oh, okay. I thought you were going to say something else.
Oh, no. I want to talk about Dabo Swinney, and I want to talk about Paul Feinbaum's comments today on Get Up.
Oh.
Yeah, you have takes. For those who don't know, Dabo Swinney has been kind of hammering the whole people don't respect us thing, which, again, at least amongst our circles, we don't know who's saying that. I have seen it on Twitter being said, but it's not anyone that I actively follow or...
I mean, yeah, I'm the same way, but I will push back that everybody's like, no one's disrespecting you. I'm like, not you and me, but all of college football, people I know spent 6 weeks of the year being like, Clemson has a terrible schedule and they're not playing well. Why are they even ranked this high? Like they have been dropped in after winning games this season. That has happened.
I will say that
I don't want I just everybody's like this narrative. He's making up this narrative. I'm like, he's not really
right. And I will say that for the sake of transparency, after the North Carolina game, I was one that said maybe we have to drop them a couple spots. But never did I ever say that they weren't one of the best teams in the country, and never did I ever think that they were disrespected. I just thought they were going through a rough path, and I think that similarly,
which they do every year, and
right? And similarly, the way that we said LSU maybe isn't the best team in the country, but deserves the number one spot based on their resume. I think that maybe Clemson deserve to be ranked a little bit lower. It doesn't mean that I don't think they're one of the best teams in the country. It just means that I think, given to the situation that's happening this season right now, that the rankings are reflected accurately, in my opinion. But no one here, especially on Sideline Judgment, has said that Clemson is we told you last week, Clemson's winning the national championship.
Yeah, Clemson's winning the whole thing.
we could hit fast forward and just let you guys know. Clemson's winning the national championship.
I'm excited to watch all the games, but Clemson's winning the whole thing.
Exactly. So Dabo Swinney's kind of in his bag and being a little bit hurt, and
I mean, I understand people are not liking it. I don't really care. I laugh when I hear it coming from Paul Feinbaum.
Right?
It's him of all people.
It gives me the same feeling that I got last week hearing Nick Saban say the last play was unfair in the Iron Bowl. I was like, all right, Nick Saban, really? You're
gonna say that? Expect me to believe it?
Half of your roster is NFL talent, and you're gonna say it's unfair? Come on.
It's unfair because you messed up.
Yeah. Sorry, you got fooled by a high school offense. My bad.
That's it's like last in the offseason, a Clemson player came out and said that Notre Dame was the toughest team that they faced that season, not Alabama, which Notre Dame played a closer game to Clemson than Alabama did. And Paul Feynman was like, this is disrespectful at Alabama. How dare they? And I'm like, first of all, yes, it's disrespectful, but that's the whole point.
Yeah.
And two, isn't Clemson the team that won the national championship? Isn't Clemson decidedly like they smacked them?
Yeah.
But it's like, isn't Clemson the team that played the games the most qualified person to tell you what was the hardest game that they played?
In the words of the great Herm Edwards, you play to win the game. And they won the game, therefore they can say what they want. Sorry.
I mean, but another we talk a lot about this, but people say this a lot. When coaches are up on the podium giving speeches, they're not really talking to the media. Mm-hmm. They're talking to their team.
They're using the media as an avenue.
I mean, look at what Dan Mullen did last year when they lost to Missouri. He was talking. He went out and he had like the speech that we call it was like, we have guys that don't even want to play for themselves. Like when they get out there, they don't even want to compete. And like whatever I do, basically is like no matter what you do, if you want to come up and thumb march with me, I'll kick your ass. Mm-hmm. And he's talking about we don't have the attitude in the locker room. Do you think he cares if me, random fan, knows that?
No.
I mean, I like to know that, but like no, he was speaking to his team, and the team rattled off 10 straight wins after that.
Yeah. And
looked different. So this is just another example of like Clemson's biggest thing this whole season was gonna be facing boredom.
Right.
They don't have a remote challenger in their conference, and they need to feel. And at first, it was warranted. Mm-hmm. Now Dabo has to create disrespect to motivate them.
Yeah, I feel like at the end of the day,
honestly.
No, because at the end of the day, they're going to win another national championship. They're going to win 30 games in a row, and the media is going to be like, wow, oh my God, it's this Clemson team, one of the best to ever do it.
We will forget that this ever happened.
Exactly, which is an actual, genuine question we should ask if they go 15-0 again and go 30-0 over the course of 2 seasons with back-to-back titles. But we have to also at the same time, like, don't be the same person that was saying that, like, Clemson's disrespected or Dabo's annoying and this and that, whatever, and then turn around and be like, wow, Dabo Swinney's really one of the greatest to ever do it. You know, you can't have it both ways.
Yeah.
You got to make a decision. Anyway, I think that's enough talk on Clemson. You're welcome, Dabo. We're giving you the attention that you've been wanting.
God, he's a genius.
He's a genius. And number 4, Georgia. What were you going to say when I said, Tyler, I want to talk about something, and you gave me a mini Birdman hand rub?
Oh, I was going to skip past this. I was going to go to Utah at 5.
Oh, forget Georgia?
Well, I was going to talk about how Utah is above Oklahoma.
Let's do that because next up.
So that's what I thought you were going to talk about.
No. But next up in the rankings, the first 2 teams out: Utah at 5, Oklahoma 6. Let's round out the top 10 real quick. Utah 5, Oklahoma. Let's go to the next 4.
Just go to 7. Just go to 7. That's the real playoff.
I want to go to 8 because realistically, the next 4 teams could make it into the playoff. Realistically, it's a possibility. Tyler, don't give me that look. 5. Utah's at 5.
Okay.
Utah's at 5, Oklahoma 6, Baylor 7, Wisconsin at 8. What do we think about the order of this?
I think this is exactly the order that it should be in.
Agreed.
I think that Utah has been wildly more dominant than Oklahoma. Mm-hmm. Oklahoma has been playing with fire a lot recently.
Yeah. Did you know that the last game with Bedlam was the first game in over a month that wasn't like a 1-possession game?
I noticed that, like not like that in that framework, but it was the first time that they hadn't at the end felt like they were going to lose at some point. Mm-hmm. And that has to matter. I mean, ultimately what happens is that the committee is kind of showing you what they think in the matter of if Utah and Oklahoma both win by like the same margin, they'll probably put Utah in ahead. This is considering Georgia will probably lose.
As God intended, Georgia will lose.
Yeah. And I know that Oklahoma will be beating the number 7 team, mm-hmm. but Utah will also be beating a highly ranked team. And if Utah wins by a dramatic margin mm-hmm. in a non-sloppy game,
I think it's a wrap.
I think that they're in.
I think right now it's Utah's spot to lose.
Yeah, because Oklahoma might be like that. Ohio, if they win the Big 12 championship, might be like that Ohio State team last year. That was really good. But they just struggled they won a lot of games, and they were good, but they struggled so much mm-hmm. that the committee's like, we're not putting you in if we don't have to.
Right. Agreed.
So,
and what I like
that's how I feel about that.
Yeah. what I like about this is that the committee was consistent. They've consistently had Utah ranked higher than Oklahoma. They've been honoring the head-to-head matchup throughout the entire season. They've really honored head-to-head victories. And I like that they put Baylor above Wisconsin. Granted, Baylor's a 1-loss team, Wisconsin's a 2-loss team, but that's besides the point. I do like that they put them in that sense. So we like that as well. 5, 6, 7, 8, we like how it is. So far, so good. We think Georgia should not be ranked as high, but we've already gone about them ad nauseum, and it's going to fix itself next week. Then we have the Florida Gators ranked 9 and Penn State ranked at 10. Now, this is what I jumped for joy about an hour ago when these rankings came out. And I was so excited because this means that Florida probably, if things go the way that they should this weekend, is going to end up in the Orange Bowl. And that's good news for me because I hopefully can go, probably will go. I got to make sure I move some, make sure to do some finances because it is Miami and the Orange Bowl is expensive. So hopefully I'll be able to go. But I do like that the committee valued a dominant win for us over Florida State, and they rewarded us by leaving Penn State where they were because Penn State struggled against Rutgers. I'm going to say that one more time. Penn State struggled against Rutgers.
In fairness to Penn State, well, first of all, it was at home, so. But in fairness to Penn State, Sean Clifford did not play. They were playing their backup quarterback. That's not really a valid.
They struggled against Rutgers.
Florida's playing with their backup quarterback.
Facts. Best backup
and no running game whatsoever.
Or a mediocre offensive line. Dan Mullen truly is on the path to become the next Saban. Wow, I can't believe I just said that.
Don't say that. Don't jinx it. Hey,
sorry.
Knock on wood. Sign of the cross. I'm going to get my salt shakers.
Go do that. There you go. Got you. We covered our bases. I like the ranking. That's what I wanted to point out.
I'm just going to go ahead and say just right on the entire top 10.
Oh, yeah. Just right. Top 10. Then we go into the aftermath of the Iron Bowl. Auburn is ranked 11th. Alabama is ranked 12th. Alabama, I tweeted this, I texted you this, and I'm going to say it on the pod. I cannot for the life of me remember the last time I saw Alabama ranked outside the top 10.
Okay, I don't know about top 10 in regards to the entirety of the polls in general, but this is their lowest college football playoff ranking ever.
Yes, I do more.
In the last 6 years, this is the lowest that they've been.
They are ranked 9th in the AP poll, for comparison. They dropped 7 spots in the college football playoff ranking, and they dropped 4 spots in the AP poll. They're still 2 spots above Auburn in the AP, but honestly, I like
the committee. The committee said that based off their wins, their resume is pretty close to Auburn, and the committee decided to respect the head-to-head for Auburn and Alabama,
which is good. That's something that's been consistent all year, regardless of the teams.
Head-to-head has generally been respected.
Yes, which I like. Because the whole thing is, if you beat them on the field, it doesn't matter how it happened. You play to win the game, and therefore, you win the game. You should be rewarded for that.
That's a big win for Auburn, so I can't even act like. I mean, I think this is just right for both of them.
Yeah, it's crazy that Auburn may have just. Tyler, we might be seeing.
What are you about to say?
We might be seeing Alabama in the Buffalo Wild Wings Bowl. That is so strange to me, dude. Oh
yeah, you know what? I have to back up. I have to reiterate one of my takes from earlier. Mm-hmm. This is the one year Alabama's not going to make the playoff, and UCF doesn't even have the decency to be good enough to match up in a bowl game.
Oh,
no matter who you are, you would have wanted to see it, but no.
I will say this. I did text friend of the pod, Alexa, who designed our logo. I did text her and I said, Alabama's ranked 12th. And she said, I'm going to pull it up.
You gotta get a direct quote.
I have to quote her properly. She said, in all caps, LOL, in all caps, we want Bama. Next text, in all caps, still. 3 text messages, in all caps, all of them. Please. LOL, we want Bama, still.
Maybe don't lose to freaking Tulsa then.
Maybe, yikes. Maybe beat Cincy.
Maybe beat Pitt.
Maybe show up to your conference championship game. I will not hold Pitt against them. We've talked about champions.
Yeah, no, we've talked. If you lose to Pitt, that means you really are a championship.
They were actually on the right path when they lost to Pitt. They just had to win out the rest of their games. If they would have showed up to the
Tulsa game?
No, to the Cotton Bowl, they would have showed up to the Cotton Bowl and it was like, 12-1 with a loss to Pitt, we would have been like, acceptable national championship resume. Yes. I would have actually given them more credit this year than the year that they allegedly won the national championship and went undefeated. I think a 13-1 with a loss to Pitt is more
Clemson
credible.
legitimately actually did win a national title after losing to Pitt.
All right, let's move on from that.
Facts only on this podcast.
Facts only. We only give you facts. Oregon is ranked 13th. They have a game this Friday night. They can still salvage their season, still have a good year. Make the Rose Bowl regardless, I think. I think they're in the Rose Bowl regardless.
No, the next highest Pac-12 team they have to be.
And it's a matter of, do they go with a conference champion as a conference champion, or do they go as the next representative, So
yeah.
Next up is Michigan at 14, Notre Dame at 15.
Too damn high.
Is this the first one that you think is too high?
Yes.
Okay.
They only dropped one spot after getting blown out by Ohio State.
You know what I would do with this team?
What?
Flip them with Minnesota, who's ranked 18th. They dropped 10 spots, Minnesota did.
I don't think Minnesota deserved to fall that many spots.
I don't think so either. I would flip them. I would probably, maybe not flip them, but rearrange. I'd move Minnesota from 18 up to 14 because I do think the other teams have a better case to be ranked higher. But yeah, Michigan too. Right now, I'm getting into the. Right now is the Michigan, Notre Dame, Iowa are the teams that I'm like.
You'll know how I feel about Iowa.
Can we just get through them because the American teams are actually more.
But I think Notre Dame is better than all these teams.
Yeah, the group of 5 teams that follow are actually more exciting. So let's just talk about them. Memphis moves up a spot at 17. Boise State moves up a spot to be 19. We talked about Minnesota at 18. Cincinnati drops one to 20, and App State jumps from 25th to 21st. Which actually is interesting because if Boise State loses, if Boise State loses to Hawaii, if Cincinnati ends up beating Memphis, I still think it would go it'd
probably go to Cincinnati.
But App State, if they dominate against Louisiana Monroe, would have a case. 12-1 conference champion. Cincinnati would be at 11-2. You got to look at the schedules and see how.
By the way, you said it was Louisiana Monroe, which is going to get you arrested in the state of Louisiana.
Is it Lafayette?
It's the other one.
Oh, okay.
And it's just called Louisiana.
It's Louisiana Lafayette, but sure.
As somebody who knows, I mean, you obviously also know people from the state of Louisiana.
I do.
But be careful with your tongue, sir.
I agree, but as someone who watched Sun Belt games in 2007 and had to play them every year as an FAU fan, I'm going to call them Louisiana Lafayette because that's how I grew up. And dang nabbit, call me a boomer, but I will do that. Stand my ground. Boomer. Thank you. So that's the interesting group of
Are we going to get knocked with the explicit tag because I just said, okay, boomer?
I don't know, man. Are you a snowflake?
Strange times.
Are you a snowflake?
No, I'm in Florida right now.
Oh, man. It's supposed to rain snow overnight here. Not like crazy, but like we're.
I've never actually seen real falling snow.
Neither have I, Tyler. So I'll let you know.
You gotta tell me what that's like.
I will. I'll let you know. Maybe you should come visit me.
We just alienated 90% of the country.
I know. Can't believe that. All right, and rattling up the top 25, USC at 22. They don't move. Virginia. Welcome to the top 25.
9-3 season.
9-3 season. Navy, welcome back. And Oklahoma State stays in the top 25 at number 25. They dropped 4 spots. Tyler, anything you want to talk about, but besides what we talked about in the top? That's pretty much what we have. We're also going to talk a lot about it when we talk about championship games.
Not really. I mean, I'm pretty okay with all of these spots. Okay. I mean, you could interchange a lot of these teams with other good teams too, but I'm surprised that Oklahoma State is still in, and they didn't replace that with Kansas State, who's also 8-4.
Yeah, I'm surprised FAU's not getting votes. Just want to say that.
I mean, I'm not surprised that FAU's not getting votes. FAU's really good, but
yeah. I get you.
I mean, I get it. I mean, the coach is about to leave, so
yeah. No, don't say that. Never mind. Because I was reading the coaches poll of who received votes, and Louisiana got 21 votes.
They're a good team. They're a good team.
They're a good 15.
All right.
Good Sun Belt team. All right, Tyler, let's go ahead and move forward to the other news that we have here in Quick Hits before we get to our games. I truly and honestly and not sarcastically, can we get a moment of silence for Felipe Frank's Florida career? All right, thank you very much. We have, from the beginning of Mullen's tenure, I want to say, have had faith that Felipe Franks' true talent was going to come out under Dan Mullen. I just want to say thank you to Felipe. He is transferring from Florida. And the thing is that if he did not get hurt in that Kentucky game, he would be our starting quarterback right now. He would be the starting quarterback coming into next season. And we would have a little, it would just be the way that things were supposed to go. But unfortunately, life is the way that it is, and he is going to be transferring. He said that he will either enter the draft or transfer somewhere else. He didn't really say specifically.
Yeah.
I think it's in his best interest to transfer rather than enter the draft.
Given how long his injury recovery is going to be.
Exactly.
If he goes to the NFL, he cannot really participate in any of the draft stuff.
Exactly.
Of which case, like, the combine would be good for him.
Right.
Because he can interview, which all of his teammates love him from everything I've heard.
Yeah.
And also, additionally, he could test, and he is an athletic freak.
Yeah,
so.
I was going to say, someone is going to take a chance on him. Whatever your opinion on Felipe Franks is, he's going to end up on an NFL roster. He could be a career backup. I don't see him being, a starting quarterback in the NFL, but he could come in. What's his name?
He could be Chase Daniels.
He could be Chase Daniel. He could be Blau.
He could be Josh McCown.
He could be Blau, who came in for the Lions on Thanksgiving. Like, stuff could happen. I could see him playing in a football game. And I know I just want to say thank you. I know you do as well.
No, once a Gator, always a Gator.
Facts.
I want to thank Felipe Franks for always giving it his all.
Yep, always giving it all.
And he grew a lot. There's a large portion of the fan base that still holds a lot of that 2017 season against him.
Which is I don't think
he was. I mean, like in all, like he was terrible, but like he was a redshirt freshman getting developed by not a good staff.
Exactly.
On a bad team.
It's kind of a
fault.
miracle that Mullen was able to pull out all of that raw potential that we saw from him coming out of high school and pulling it out of him. It's kind of a miracle there.
So I just thank you to him, and hope he finds happiness elsewhere.
And if he ends up on a really good Group of 5 team or on a mid-tier ACC team, I'm telling you, if Felipe Franks ends up on like NC State and starts balling out, you bet your ass I'm going to be watching NC State football.
You know who needs quarterback next year?
Who needs quarterback?
The Virginia Cavaliers.
I'll make the 2-hour drive to see him play. I'm not even lying. I'll make.
Bryce Burke is a senior.
Who knows? Felipe.
Similar system.
Felipe, we wish you nothing but the best. Next up, Tyler. I'm going to go ahead and just give you the ball. I'm going to stand in the corner. You go ahead and Kobe Bryant ISO and just take over the next story. This is all you. Take it away.
The shocker of the last 2 days. Chris Peterson, my bae, stepping down at Washington. It's apparently not for any health-related reasons, nothing behind the scenes. He just needed to take some time to step back, to recharge. And Jimmy Lake, the current defensive coordinator, will be taking over as the head coach, which this shocked me, made me sad, but then I was okay with it because the thing you got to remember about Chris Peterson is that he's a different kind of guy.
Yeah.
Like Washington and all the programs that he has are very safeguarded. They're very private. They don't really talk to other people. Apparently he's a very funny guy in person that everybody, all these players love him, and everybody loves to work with him, but he stayed at Boise for 10 years.
Yeah. Well, he's a Boise guy.
That's the thing. It's about fit with him. And I think that with the current recruiting grind and just how much it takes for any college football head coach to do their job, it can be exhausting.
Yeah.
And we're starting to see this. Bob Stoops did it. He was in his mid-50s. Chris Peterson is in his mid-50s. Bob Stoops stepped down at Oklahoma because he's like, I have all this money. I'm kind of done with the grind.
Yeah.
There's a guy on my staff that is an up-and-comer.
Literally,
if I don't give him the job, he's probably going to leave.
Literally said, "Okay, boomer."
Shut up.
Thank you. I was holding it in. Continue.
Shut up. One second. Okay. Chris Peterson did the same thing with Jimmy Lake. I think Bob Stoops to Lincoln Riley has worked out really well. I think Chris Peterson to Jimmy Lake can work out really well as well.
And that it's this thing with I think the most impressive thing with the Stoops to Riley transition is the culture stayed the same. Mm-hmm. And I think hiring Jimmy Lake and promoting him up rather than going outside and finding someone else, the culture stays the same in Seattle. You know what I mean?
That's the thing. The good thing about this is that Jimmy Lake, he's still going to be in his hands on the defense, which has been excellent.
Yeah.
He is a relentless recruiter from everything I've heard. He's a high-energy guy. Players really love him. But what's good is that he can keep the staff together. He can keep the culture going forward. And it's a really good culture that they have in Washington. Mm-hmm. Additionally, though, because he's now a new guy, if they need to make any changes, I don't know what kind of guy he is regarding this, but they can make some changes. I'm not in love with their offense. Like, it's usually pretty good, but there are times when like they miss Jonathan Smith, who's the Oregon State head coach now. Mm-hmm. Where just there's some creativity that they don't really have, some inconsistency. And I think maybe he could consider bringing in some extra help with that or replacing somebody. But overall, like I think this is just it's much like the Bob Stoops Lincoln Riley thing. I think this is really going to work out. Mm-hmm. And I mean, Chris Peterson is going to be taking an advisory role with the school. He may get back into coaching one day, but he needs some time.
Yeah.
And I'm all for it. Like, I was very sad at first, and I still am, because I love Chris Peterson. But what I love about this is that this, I don't think, changes who Washington really is right now.
Well,
Washington is not going to be a dramatically different product, in my opinion, based off what I'm projecting, than what they were under Chris Peterson. In some ways, they could get better.
Right. And what I'm looking at here, I'm looking at Jimmy Lake's history. He's 42 years old. He's going to be 43 in 2 weeks from today, actually. He's going to be 43. So he's young. He played safety. He's from Washington State. He played at Eastern Washington, and he's been with Peterson since 2012. Like he 100% is going through and is gonna be a perfect fit. You know what I mean? It's gonna work. He's young.
I think he might be able to improve their recruiting too, which they already recruit pretty well for a Pac-12 team. But...
And it's nice to see, at least as a minority, it's nice to see a minority coordinator getting an opportunity to be.
I think that, I mean, I'm not a minority, but I think I was very happy about that too.
Yeah,
he's one of, I think, actually now 5 African American head coaches in the Pac-12 alone,
which is really good.
That's awesome because you don't see currently coaching in college football is predominantly white.
It has been, and it will be.
I get
for a
it
long
because
time.
They're all 50.
Yeah.
And like, I'm sorry, but that's not going to change. Like, those things take time to change.
Yeah.
Because people don't just dramatically get older.
Exactly.
But so, I mean, that's really cool to see.
Yeah.
I'm excited. I mean, it's gonna be something interesting for us to look at.
It's gonna be fun, and I think it keeps Washington interesting. You know, I'm not gonna.
And I don't think that their dominance over Washington State is going to change anytime soon.
Right.
Because it's primarily been defensively driven.
Exactly, and so.
And additionally, I think part of this last thing I'll say, part of the whole reason for doing this, I think, has to be Mario Cristobal, because Mario Cristobal has come in, and this is why I want you. This is why there could be a benefit to the Pac-12 generally from Urban Meyer going to USC, or at least a good recruiter, because Mario Cristobal is raising the level of recruiting at Oregon.
Yeah, he is.
And it's going to make all of these Pac-12 teams a step up their recruiting, because what they were previously able to skate by with won't be good enough anymore. Mm-hmm. And maybe that's part of this. Maybe that energy is something that Chris Peterson just really wasn't. He's like, I don't really want to spend my time doing this. Jimmy wants to do it. Let's let him do it. And that will be even expounded upon if James Franklin or an Urban Meyer takes the USC job. We don't know.
Right.
But I'm excited to see where this goes.
Yeah, there seems to be a rebirth or a renaissance, if I do say, out in the Pac-12, and it's nice to see.
I'm here for it.
I love when the West Coast is good at college football, because then we get more West Coast games and we're able to stay up later with quality games. It's gonna be a fun time. Last thing I'll say about this: did you see what Peterson said about Mike Leach?
Yes.
Peterson said that he went to midfield before the game, before kickoff, to talk like coaches do. They go to the midfield, they have a conversation before the game, and
I can read it off if you want.
You want to read it off? Yeah, go ahead, Tyler. Read it off.
Here it is. Chris Peterson, knowing in his head the Apple Cup would be his last regular season game, says Mike Leach asked him pre-game, "Hey, how much longer are you going to do this?" And Chris Peterson said, "I'm thinking, oh my God, this guy's a mind reader too."
Is there anything that Mike Leach isn't? Oh, man.
I don't know.
Love to see it. Hey,
he's not normal.
I want to spend a grand total of 30 seconds on this because I just think that's the amount of attention it deserves. Speaking of Mike Leach, remember when Twitter thought that Mike Leach was hired at Ole Miss for like 90 seconds or so?
Yes, because by the time I had figured out what they were even talking about, it had been dismissed.
It was funny because I was like, oh, Mike Leach. First of all, I was scrolling through and it said, Mike Leach to Ole Miss, sources, and I was like, really? Are we sure? And like 4 tweets later, it was like, guys, that's not happening. Are you kidding me? Think about it. And I was like, okay, I'm glad there's other irrational people on this app.
Yeah. Yeah, when they say it was like for 90 seconds, we mean like literally for like 90 seconds.
Exactly.
Like,
yeah. It was that. Tyler, when the Lord taketh away, the Lord giveth. One of your coaching boys is stepping down at Washington. We're glad that Jimmy Lake's getting the opportunity.
I'm very excited to see how it goes with Jimmy Lake.
Yeah, but you're also sad. Don't.
Oh, no, I'm 100% sad.
This is your favorite coach in college football. Let's make sure
Chris Peterson.
Chris Peterson, yeah, I think he's your favorite coach. But Tyler,
I think so.
The Lord said, "I know I'm taking away something dear to your heart, but I'm going to give you something to replace that, and that is Matt Campbell's contract extension through 2025 at Iowa State University." Tyler, the Cyclones are going to cyclone on. How do you feel about this?
Hell yes. First of all, I fully do not expect Matt Campbell to be there until 2025.
Neither do I.
But you know what this means?
He stays with Brock Purdy.
Basically.
And
that's
more importantly,
I'm not even going to lie. That's all I kind of really care about.
More importantly, Tyler, he's not going to Florida State.
Yes. Do you think conspiracy theory?
Hold on. Wait.
Rewind the tape a little bit.
Wait.
Put that on. All right, here we go. Conspiracy theory. I'm putting a blanket over my head.
Listeners, Tyler has a blanket over his head, and I put my hood all the way down to my eyeballs.
All right, here we go. So there were reports that Florida State was prepping up their Champions Club room with a bunch of like banners and like
chairs,
a podium and everything because they were going to announce the new head coach. That has since been taken down.
Ooh.
Do you think? Now, realistically, people say that that's because the person they agreed with is in a conference championship game and they can't hire them until next week. But conspiracy theory, what if they were going to hire Matt Campbell and Matt Campbell used Florida State to get an extension with Iowa State?
I love it.
That's the conspiracy theory that I'm working on currently.
Wait, I love your theory. It's getting some legs, but I'm going to counter this. If FSU is hiring one of the 20 coaches that is coaching this Saturday for Championship Saturday, do you who?
It's probably Mike Norvell.
You think it's Norvell?
I think so.
I don't think Kiffin wants to go.
I really do not think that Kiffin is going to Florida State. Like, I joke about it a lot, but I think Kiffin's going back to the SEC if he's going anywhere.
I think so as well.
Kiffin cannot be what he is at Florida State. He could get away with it at Ole Miss, Mississippi State, or Arkansas, maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, realistically, he can't really do what he's doing probably anywhere that's not FAU.
So here's the thing with Kiffin real quick. Kiffin was 30 minutes late to his teleconference today.
Oh,
Kiffin's not a late person. The rumors were that he was meeting with Arkansas.
I don't doubt that he was meeting with them.
Right.
That could mean anything, though.
Right.
I mean, Dan Mullen has, when he was at Mississippi State, interviewed for the Oregon and Tennessee jobs like multiple times. Mm-hmm. So, like,
okay,
doesn't really mean anything.
I just needed you to say that out loud so you can talk me off the ledge.
Okay, yeah, don't get off the ledge. But let's get back to positive. Matt Campbell staying at Iowa State, which is good for multiple reasons. He gets to stay with my boy Brock Purdy. I think they'll probably win the Big 12 next year.
Whoa, that's a take. That's a take.
Let me live in this. All right,
go ahead.
Okay,
bro. Live in your life.
And on top of all of that, what I really like is that if he stays long, not just leaves, but he stays long and continues to build the program, the next coach that takes over, if they get the right hire, they could be successful. They could continue to be successful. And Iowa State might not be a bottom feeder job anymore.
Oh, I like that.
It might become Ideally, I'd want him to stay there forever and be Iowa. Just be Kirk Ferentz, Iowa.
Just destroy them, please.
In the spread.
Yeah. Okay.
But be Big 12 Iowa, which is what they are. But
yeah.
But like for a long time. But
we like them.
They're fun to watch.
We like them.
They have good quarterbacks, which yeah.
All right. That wraps up most of our quick hits. Let's go ahead and do a quick fantasy football update for the NFL. I had a bad week. I second-guessed myself. I started Kyler Murray over Deshaun Watson in my other league, and it was because they were going up against the Patriots defense, and I thought that the Patriots defense was going to be better than what they were, and I ended up losing out on a bye week.
How dare you doubt my boy?
I'm sorry. It happened. And then Blau on Thanksgiving decided to become Drew Brees and throw all over the Bears secondary.
Well, he's a Purdue quarterback. What do you think was going to happen?
I thought it was going to be every other Purdue quarterback not named Drew Brees, and it was just going to be a normal situation. But no, I ended up losing to Renfro, so I'm going to have to play. I'm in the playoffs this week in my other league. And then in our Dynasty League, I'm going to end up getting the 3 seed, and I'm going to have to play next week. Next week.
You're getting the 4 seed because you're not going to win the division.
4 seed, exactly.
So unless anything changes, I'm going to be playing you as the 5 seed in the Dynasty League because I beat Austin Reynolds by 80 points.
I'm just gonna say that.
And now we play this week before playoffs.
I'm just gonna say I did it for the content. That's what I'm gonna say. I'm gonna chalk it up. I did it for the content. You're welcome.
So that's what happened in the Dynasty League. I won by 80 points. Not because my team played a particularly spectacular game. Let me just add that.
Not at all.
Austin's team sucks.
Austin started Nick Foles.
Austin had 2 players get him negative points.
Austin started Nick Foles.
Nick Foles and I think the Indiana defense.
Yikes.
The Indianapolis defense. In my dad's league, I lost in the final week of the regular season. I lost the battle for the number 1 seed with "I'm Smarter Than You Are." Mm-hmm. I'm now the number 2 seed, so it's the first week of the playoffs, and I have a bye. So
congrats! I wish I had a bye this week. I stupidly started Kyler Murray over Deshaun. It's gonna haunt me forever. If I lose this league, it's gonna haunt me forever. Do that? Because I second guessed it. I got clowned in my group.
Deshaun Watson plays his best in the biggest moments.
I knew.
Against a Nick Saban style defense. Come on.
I should have known better. Oh, my God. All right, here we go. Tyler, here it is.
Let's talk about these games, baby.
The last one we got. We're calling it the Red Zone. 10 games, 10 championships on the line. Here are the rules, Tyler. Each game will be worth 1 point per usual. Once we finish with all 10 of these games, we will go back and we will pick which game we want to make worth 2 points. Okay?
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yes. Are we each picking an individual one, or is it just one game that we get to decide?
Individual.
Okay.
We each get to pick the individual. So, for example, if I want to make the MAC game my 2 point, I can. And if you want to make the Mountain West one, you can. Separately.
Okay, cool.
All right?
I can roll with that.
All right, Tyler. As always, we're going to go in order of when these games kick off, which means we start out west. Utah taking on Oregon, 8 o'clock. It's on ABC?
Yep.
That's weird.
Kirk Herbstreit is calling it.
That's really weird. I thought the Friday game was always. I thought the Pac-12
It is a Friday game.
I thought the Pac-12 title game was on Fox usually.
Not this year, apparently.
No, they're going to take.
Fox only gets one of these.
Wow. All right, so.
It's kind of weird to me.
The thing is, like, we see ABC and ESPN, and we forget it's the same company.
I don't. I work for ABC.
All right, we got Utah, Oregon, 8 o'clock on ABC Friday night. Tyler, you are in the lead, which means you can decide, do you want to go first or second? Take a look at the games real quick. See if you want to go first or second.
Give me a second. I would like to go second.
All right, so I will be going first.
Mm-hmm.
Tyler, I will be picking. Sorry, I wrote on my board in my office all of my picks today, and I took a picture. I spent like 15 minutes thinking about it. Going, okay, I want this. And my students were. Some of the students were like, "Oh, is this for Saturday's games?" I was like, "Yeah, it was." Anyway, all right.
Look at them. They're learning.
Love it. Utah, Oregon. I'm gonna go Utah over Oregon, but I want you to know that this was a tough decision for me.
I know it is.
I have been on the Oregon bandwagon for a while. Utah is just playing way too good right now. And Oregon, when you think about it, their strength is like what they really need to do. Their strength is the run game and setting up the play action so Herbert can go deep. But I really don't feel comfortable trusting.
This is a strength on strength game.
Yeah, and I don't feel comfortable.
Oregon wins with line play, and so does Utah.
Yeah, I just think I trust the Utah defense more. They're in better shape, meaning like they're in better form. I'm gonna go with Utah, and I'm seeing that you're also going with Utah.
I'm also going to go with Utah. Part of the reason being that, Utah is one of, I believe, either 3 or 4 teams that have not allowed 1,000 total rushing yards against them all season. Mm-hmm. Utah has the number 1 run defense in the country.
That's crazy.
I'm pretty, or if not one, I think 2. I'm not sure how this last week's games may have changed statistics.
Right.
But they have one of the 2 best run defenses in the country.
So basically,
what they do, or that is Oregon's bread and butter.
Right.
Oregon can throw the ball with Justin Herbert, but they aren't a pass first team.
No, and that's the thing. I don't if they're gonna force Tannehill 2.0 to throw, I'm not gonna trust Tannehill 2.0 to throw all over.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Just like Tannehill in the NFL, he needs a good running game.
Exactly.
And I don't think they're going to get that against Utah of all teams. And I think that Tyler Huntley and Zach Moss are playing at a very high level. And I said a couple weeks ago that I thought Utah might be better than Oregon, and I feel that way now. So
yeah,
Utah.
I think you are right on that one. That Arizona State game really exposed Oregon for me. They were playing great football up to that point, though. But I think it's because they were playing against teams that they handled the line of scrimmage. And once they do that, they look also.
Well, that game specifically, they got beat downfield. Mm-hmm. So
right, but after that game, I think after that game, I think the psyche, whatever.
It might be different,
Alrighty, we both have Utah. Next game up, the Big 12, 12 o'clock on ABC, which is 11 o'clock your time, 11 o'clock local time. Baylor, Oklahoma, Jerry World in Arlington, Texas. Tyler, who do you got?
This is an interesting game because when these 2 teams played, the environment was such a factor, and I don't feel that it will be this time. And it was almost like I said at the time afterwards, is like, you don't want to do this, but you almost have to throw everything out because it was such a unique circumstance.
Okay.
In just the sense that Baylor so completely dominated the first half and Oklahoma so completely dominated the second. And that it's almost like you never really saw. I don't know. It's weird. It's just a very weird game. With that being said, I'm going to take the Baylor Bears to win the game.
Wow. Okay. I didn't really expect that right away.
I think that they're a very well-coached team. I think that they can get Oklahoma. And this is an environment where this is a place where the environment will kind of be taken out for both teams. But I think that it's hard to beat a team twice. And Baylor had such a lead against Oklahoma and needed so many things to go wrong for them in the second half for Oklahoma to get those chances, which Oklahoma took full advantage of. Don't take that away. But I think that Baylor is going to be calm this time, and I think Baylor's going to win.
Okay.
I am feeling on this one.
I am not going to take Baylor. I am going to take Oklahoma. I do think it's a close game. I do think it is a very close game. I agree. I think it's not necessarily a toss-up. I just think the atmosphere is going to favor Oklahoma because Dallas is 2 hours away from Norman. And I do think that Oklahoma, from the second half of that Baylor game, has been playing better football. They really woke up. And I think that kind of bedlam shot of confidence of, do you know who we are? We're Oklahoma. Let's go ahead and let's handle this. And Jalen Hurts is really good. People forget
he's very good.
How good he's been. And I don't know. I feel more comfortable going with a team that has been there before, with a team that has won this game, with a team that has gone through the adversity and won, basically dominated the second half. Like you said, it is hard to beat a team twice. But it's going to be Oklahoma trying to do what they did in the second half of the first game versus Baylor trying to do what they did in the first half. And I think Oklahoma's just going to prevail there. It's going to be a close game, though. It's a really close game. We both think it's a really close game.
I agree.
Let's move forward to the Sun Belt, the Fun Belt. We have at noon on ESPN, Louisiana taking on App State. This game is in Boone, North Carolina, so it's at App State. We talked about this. This App State team is really good. Tyler, let me give you some numbers, okay?
Give it to me.
App State is 11-1, and they're 7-1 in their conference. Louisiana's 10-2. Their only two losses are to Mississippi State and App State. I'm gonna take the Louisiana Raging Cajuns.
Really?
In an upset on the road. It's a noon game. I think that they can win this football game. It's the whole thing of beating someone twice. I don't think it'll happen. Elijah Mitchell's run for over 1,000 yards. Levi Lewis has thrown for close to 2,500 yards and 20 touchdowns. Elijah Mitchell has 14 touchdowns on 169 carries. This team is good. This team rushing.
They got discount Kyler Murray. Remember that?
They got discount Kyler Murray. Rushing, they're the sixth best rushing team in the country, and they only allow close to 18 points per game. They only allow close to 18 points per game. I think that this game, they fix their mistakes. Yes, it's on the road. I'm gonna go with it. I think it's gonna happen. It's one of those gut feelings. Not that App State isn't a bad team. I just think that this Louisiana team, this Louisiana Lafayette team, is a good football team. I'm gonna go with them. I'm gonna go with Louisiana.
Right.
I'm gonna go with the Raging Cajuns, my friend.
If Louisiana has discount Kyler Murray, then App State is discount at the dollar store, Alabama. This game is the Orange Bowl from last year. It's at App State. App State is a solid program that has taken no step back whatsoever
since jumping up from second division, might I say?
Yeah, and since replacing Scott Satterfield, Eli Drinkovitz.
Yeah.
Drinkowitz. I don't know how to say it, but
Drinkovitz.
Drinkovitz. The number of the day. I don't know what I just did there. But App State's gonna win the game.
Mm-hmm.
There, I said it.
There you go. Wow, we already have two games that we're separate on. I love it. All right, Tyler. Next up, most likely the winner of this. Just kidding. We have the MACtion going on. We got Miami of Ohio taking on Central Michigan at noon on ESPN2.
The Chippewas.
The Chippewas. Tyler, we got an old friend in this game. We got a good
it ain't so.
We got a good old friend in this game, Tyler. Who do you have in this MAC championship game at Ford Field? By the way, which is of all the neutral site championship games, this is the least exciting one.
Yeah, but I'm happy that they're actually at a neutral site.
Yeah, I know, but Ford Field just doesn't seem like a stadium that entices
me. It's the MAC.
All right. Nothing's more
Detroit. What you expect? I'm surprised this isn't on a Tuesday.
It should be on like a Tuesday.
Honestly, imagine if they held a conference championship game on a Tuesday or Wednesday.
We would look at it and go, "Oh, it's the MAC? Yeah, we're good."
That's okay. Well, maybe I'd be at bar right now.
Miami of Ohio, Central Michigan.
Against Central Michigan. I'm gonna go with the Chippewas, Jim McElwain Chippewas.
Are you trusting Jim McElwain to win a conference championship?
Trusting him to beat a better team, to beat a team that's not as good as him. So both of these teams are undefeated at home, and both of them have only 2 wins on the road. Mm-hmm. However, Miami of Ohio has played one more game on the road. They are 2-5 on the road, and Central Michigan has played one less. They are 2-4 on the road. Mm-hmm. But I think that Jim McElwain's been getting some things done there. He has Quentin Dormady, the former Tennessee quarterback. So many things you could say about that, but they've won some close games, but they've also had some blowouts in their favor. So I think that I'm going to take Central Michigan.
I will not be picking Jim McElwain.
Oh my God!
I'm going with Miami of Ohio.
Just because you want to spite Jim McElwain?
You know what? Maybe you know what? Just I'll get that fixed. That's on me. I'll get that fixed.
You know what I got to say about that?
What?
It's pretty neat.
It's pretty neat, ain't it?
In all honesty, I do think that Jim McElwain is a good football coach, but I think he
requires
a fit, and he was not a fit at Florida.
No, he was not.
I don't think he's a fit at most high-level Power 5 jobs. He's a fit at a Group of 5 school.
Yeah, agreed.
Where he can be the guy and everything. It's kind of like how PJ Fleck I think PJ Fleck is only a fit at certain schools because, in a way, when PJ Fleck is the coach of your program, everything is about PJ Fleck oversees literally everything.
Yeah.
And Jim McElwain's not quite like that, but he has a personality and a demeanor that does not work at schools where you have to answer to people.
Right. And
what PJ Fleck can do works at Minnesota. It might not work at Florida State. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to go with Jim McElwain anyway. Continuing on to the Conference USA.
Conference USA, baby. A conference.
These United States of America.
A conference near and dear to my heart. UAB takes on FAU in Boca, 1:30. It's on CBS Sports Network. Why?
That's so disappointing.
Oh my god! I have to find a stream. Roll was like, you should have seen Roll's face when he found out this was on CBS Sports Network. He went, "Oh my god!" And he looked at me. He was like, "Can we find a stream?" And I was like, "Yeah, we'll find a stream. Don't worry." He's like, "Okay, Jesus." I was like, "It's gonna be on a delay for like a minute." He goes, "I don't care. Just get me the stream." Oh man. It's my turn, right?
Yes.
Hop on the lane train, baby. You know where I'm going with this. Let me give you some numbers.
The easiest pick of all time.
Easiest pick of all time for me. UAB hasn't played a single offense. UAB came out of the West, but UAB hasn't played a single competent offense. This is the best offense that they have faced. The other offense that they will have faced would be Louisiana Tech, but that was when they were without their quarterback and wide receiver and running back. So I'm pretty sure that Chris Robinson and this high-tempoed Lane Kiffin offense is going to blow them out of the water. Take the spread. The spread is FAU by 7. Take the points. Just telling you know. Allegedly.
Okay.
Allegedly take the spread.
Okay.
Why are you thinking about this? Why are you second-guessing yourself? Tyler, are you serious right now?
I haven't said anything.
Okay, but I know you, Tyler. We've talked at least twice a week for 3 years. I know exactly what you're going to say.
Your habits when I pause.
I know. No, it's your eyes. You get a look in your eyes as you go.
Is that so?
Yes, dude. So go ahead, make your incorrect pick. Go.
So, okay, going into this, I was going to pick UAB.
Okay.
I was going to pick the Blazers.
Like an idiot.
Jeez. Okay, calm down. But hearing you talk about it, you make a lot of sense.
I bring facts.
You
not just
brought
emotion.
really good facts.
I bring facts, not just emotion.
I mean, yes, UAB has not really played a competent offense. They do have a good defense, and they've got an okay offense of their own. They're a good team. There's a reason they're in this team. I don't want to take that away.
They are a good team.
And they will provide a challenge. And going into this, I thought I was going to pick UAB, and I'm still going to do it, baby. UAB Blazers are winning this game. You know why? Because Lane Kiffin is going to be too distracted thinking about taking the Arkansas job. Go Blazers, baby.
When FAU gets matched up in the Belk Bowl against Iowa State, I know that can't happen, but against Iowa State,
a man can dream.
You're gonna rue this day, Tyler. You will rue the day that you chose against FAU in the Conference USA title game.
I'm kind of throwing up Hail Mary on this one,
Yikes! All right, here we go. Next up, the game that will most likely decide the group of 5 participants in the Cotton Bowl. Cincinnati at Memphis, 3:30 on ABC. It's a rematch of last week's season finale. Tyler, who you got?
We talked about this in the last episode. Cincinnati, in their last game, made it look like they really had a shot against Memphis, and that given second chance, they could really win. Mm-hmm. I think this game will be closer than people expect, but I do think Memphis is going to win because I just think they're just better.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Mike Norvell's offense. I understand that. I get that.
Yeah,
I get that. But
what do you feel?
I'm actually going to take Cincinnati. I think because hear me out.
We are disagreeing so much. I love it.
Which is this not the content you wanted?
This is amazing.
Okay, so I'm picking Cincinnati, and the thing is that we're picking them, but like this is we've generally thought about all of these things. Like
I generally believe in everything I pick.
I
I
do
didn't
as well.
explain it because I was doing it for the content,
Right.
but I do actually think that UAB can bring FAU's offense down.
And I believe that you have that wrong opinion. That's fine.
That's fine.
No, but I think Cincy can win this game because of all the games that beating a team twice is harder than it seems. This is the one that is most intriguing to me because they played last week, dude.
Yeah, I know. They're playing in the same spot.
In the same atmosphere, same time as kickoff. Everything is the exact same. I think Cincinnati, them making that in-game adjustment to slow the game down and to really put up points and make that adjustment in-game to make them competitive in last week's game really proved a lot to me. That to me said that this coaching staff is capable of making the changes necessary to put their team in the best position to win a football game. And I think now that they've had that experience, they're going to go into it again and say, wonderful, we know how this team works. We know what they like to do. We're not only going to make in-game changes like we did last week, we're going to implement a change throughout the entire week. And I think the more you practice that, the more you can get through it. And I think Cincy has this whole nobody believes in us mentality where Cincy can hang their hat and I'm going to go ahead and stroke UCF's ego, where Cincinnati can say, hey, we only really lost to Ohio State, which is a much better football team, and we took down UCF. We've been in the tough games and we've snuck it out. We've snuck a game out against Tulane. Granted, they're not the great team, but you know what I mean, or Tulsa, where they've snuck these games out. They can beat Memphis. I truly believe that they can. If you're asking me how confident, it's like a 40% confidence, but I do think that that's enough for them to go ahead and make the changes necessary to beat Memphis in a close game. Like, if they beat Memphis, which is what I'm hoping, right? But if they beat them, it's going to be a 3-point game, 4-point game, and if it's by a touchdown, it'll be a late – if it's by 10, it'll be like a late touchdown in garbage time or something where it just kind of got away from them, from Memphis. But I think Cincinnati can win this football game.
Okay. I do think that Cincinnati has been excellent at winning close games. Mm-hmm. But Memphis has been in this game for 2 years, has choked it to UCF both times.
It's their time. I get it.
I think this Memphis team is better than those previous two.
They are.
And I think that Memphis is going to get it done against a team that I think if they really get it, like, if Memphis is allowed to play their style, Memphis will win.
Right, and I'm banking on Cincinnati not letting them play their style.
All right.
And
that's basically the same exact thing as the UAB FAU game.
Except
the styles make fight. I just think if UAB, in the sense that I'm picking UAB to drag FAU down.
Yeah, exactly.
To play their style.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's the same style kind of matchup. Mm-hmm. So
I get that.
So we're just on opposite sides of it. All right, let's go.
All right, look at us. But
I think we can agree on the next one, though.
It's Georgia LSU, 4:00 CBS. To hell with Georgia.
THWG.
Cool.
Hey, Sergio. Why does the St. John's River flow north?
Because Georgia sucks.
Exactly. Additionally, George Pickens is out in the first half.
So our fandom is done. Let's put our analyst brains on and let's talk about this game for real.
Okay. Jake Fromm, who we both think
is a good quarterback.
Good
college quarterback.
At his core.
Yes.
Has had, I believe, his fourth straight game with under 50% passing completion. Additionally, George Pickens is out for the first half of this game because he's
an idiot.
Suspended for punching a player. Like an idiot. And then Lawrence Cager's out for the rest of the season with an injury. Mm-hmm. And DeAndre Swift got injured a little bit in the Georgia Tech game. He'll probably play, but we don't know the effectiveness of that. Mm-hmm. On top of all that, their offense wasn't good with all three of those players on the team. So
you're really banking on Georgia making this 180 going away. In order for Georgia to compete with LSU in this football game, they have to literally do the complete opposite of what they've done all year long with their offense in hopes that they can hang in a shootout with LSU. Let me tell you, boys, that ain't happening. That is not happening.
I think LSU is very beatable, but not by this team.
No.
Because I think also, even if Georgia can bring them down to that level, I still think that LSU can win that game.
Right.
Because guess what? LSU's been trying to win those games like that for 10 years. Mm-hmm. So I'm not saying I don't.
That's
think
their bread
that
and butter.
I don't think that this team suddenly forgot how to win close games. They won a low-scoring game with Auburn.
LSU takes one sip of champagne, and all of a sudden they don't think that they forgot how to shotgun a Natty Light. They can do it. They can do it.
Maybe in 3 years, if this trend continues, they'll stop. But they remember.
They remember. You remember? I remember. Pepperidge Farm remembers.
All right,
So
and we both picked that.
Yeah.
I picked. That was technically you were
me.
supposed
That
to
was
pick
technically
first,
me. Yeah. So you're up next with Hawaii Boise State.
Okay.
So Mountain
West championship game.
Before
Hawaii
we
at
go on,
Boise State.
before we go on, Tyler, we've texted about this. It is a travesty that the Mountain West championship game is not a 10:30 ESPN kickoff.
Sergio, I got one question for you.
I got one answer.
What are we doing? Like, what are we doing with this?
Like this is an existential question.
Yeah, it's just like it's for you, but it's like at the Mountain West people and at ESPN. What are you doing? Like,
this is
what are
Tyler,
we doing out here? What's the point?
I've thought
no one's gonna watch this game.
Listen,
I want to watch this game, but the freaking SEC championship is on at the same time.
And if you're doing that, I'm gonna have the SEC championship game on the TV, and you know what I'm gonna have on the laptop? Cincinnati, Memphis.
Yes.
Like,
God, what kind of idiocy is this?
Does this mean that I have to put my phone on Hawaii Boise State and then not text you at all throughout these games? Like, how is this going to happen? This is not something that I'm a fan of.
I'm going to have to go to a bar just to watch all these games.
Just to have the screens on. You're going to have
just to literally be physically capable of watching them.
Listen, Mountain West, at sidelinejudgment@gmail.com. We will run your TV scheduling operations. We got you, okay? For a small, relatively small for you guys, monetary bag, large bag for us, small bag for you, we will 100% make sure that the most eyes possible are on your conference.
You already got a good formula, just don't mess it up.
You know what the good formula is? Cole McDonald at Hawaii going up against the conference juggernaut of Boise State. What else do you want? Hawaii has 9 wins. Boise State is a perennial powerhouse in your conference. Why is this game not on at 10:30 when why is this game not on at 10:30 when, and we'll get to these two games in a second, Virginia Clemson at 7:30 is going to be over at 7:32 and Ohio State Wisconsin at 8 is going to be over at 8:07. Why are we not having these games on at 10:30? Explain this to me.
Okay, we've waxed poetic
Rant
about this
over.
long
Rant over. Tyler, your pick.
You just mentioned Hawaii has 9 wins. Boise, I believe, has 11.
They have 11 wins?
I stopped saying. I'm not even gonna lie. After Memphis and Cincinnati decided to be good, I stopped really paying attention to Boise State.
But that's the thing. Boise State's been good for a decade and a half, 15 years now. That we've just kind of taken it for granted.
That's true. They're 11-1.
Put Boise in the Pac-12.
Honestly,
put Boise in the Pac-12, dude.
You know what's funny? If they do that, you know what Chris Peterson's gonna be like?
I'm in.
He's gonna be like, "Are you freaking kidding me?" I could have just stayed there.
Is it going to be that?
In 6 years, it wouldn't have mattered.
Is it going to be that, or is he going to have an Urban Meyer? My chest feels better. I'm going to come back to coaching thing.
Brian Harson's going to take the USC job. He'd be like, "I'm back, baby."
Here we go, baby. Run it back.
That being said, these two teams played earlier this season at Boise State. Boise, pretty much. Boise smacked Hawaii, but a lot of that had to do with turnovers in the first quarter.
I was going to say, I wouldn't say they smacked them. I would say Boise.
They punched them really hard first, and then Hawaii just wasn't able to fully recover.
But Hawaii then had a very technical match throughout the rest of the rounds, and Boise ended up winning by decision at the end. You know what I mean? Hawaii just couldn't recover from the mistakes from the beginning, and Boise State, I don't know if you know this, Tyler, they're really good at football, so they'll take advantage of those mistakes that you made at the beginning and won't let you come back. That's what happened.
So Boise State will be starting its third different quarterback of the season for this game. Henderson will be getting the start. Cord and Bachmeier will both be available, but he is the healthiest right now.
Okay.
And if we talking quarterbacks,
who are we talking?
I'll take Boise may be a better team, but I'll take Cole McDonald and Javon Cordero over all three of them boys.
Listen, Cole McDonald.
So give me the Hawaii Rainbow Warriors. This is the heart and a head pick, but mostly heart.
Tyler, pour not one, but 2 glasses of nightcap for the Hawaii Rainbow Warriors, baby.
We celebrating with you, baby.
We celebrating with you. Hawaii, you fans numbers 1 and 2 are over here at Sideline Judgment. We got you. Don't you worry. We are all in on it. Cole McDonald's going to have a farm. EIEI title, baby. Let's do this. Mountain West till we die.
Can we copyright that?
Can we? But you know what sucks? Cole McDonald had a farm. EIEI title, baby. You know what sucks? Hawaii's going to play BYU in the Hawaii Bowl. Can we get them out? Can we get them out here on the continent?
That's why I continue to play games in the Hawaii Bowl. I mean, I get it, but like, get them to a different game.
They play a Hawaii Bowl every home game.
Get them to the Vegas Bowl.
Yeah, get them to the Vegas Bowl. Get them to the San Diego Ponceata Credit Union Bowl. Get them to the Cheez-It Bowl.
Red Box Bowl.
Red Box Bowl, baby. Get them out there. Get them out there on the West Coast. We love it.
All right.
We're both taking Hawaii.
All right. Okay.
All right.
We can talk about this extended scrimmage next if you want.
Sure. Listen, I think Virginia's going to... Listen, Clemson...
Virginia will be there.
Listen, Clemson...
They physically will be there.
I was listening to the Shutdown Fullcast today, and I forgot who it was, but someone recommended Virginia should just end their season now. Just say, yep, this is it.
Like they won the Coastal, it'd be like, yeah, I mean, we won it. You can't ever take that away from us.
That's
like,
it. You know who
we don't gotta play the game.
You know who they open up next season against? Georgia.
Jeez.
It's just not going to be fun for them.
Again.
You
see, Felipe Frank's probably getting courted by Bronco Mendenhall, and he's like, "What's the schedule now?" Oh, Jordan, never.
No, I'm good. I'm good. Huh? What?
I don't need to play them again.
Old Dominion? Yeah, I'll be there. No, we're taking Clemson. It's here's the real question. Trevor Lawrence, over or under 350 passing yards?
I'm gonna go under because Travis Etienne's probably gonna go wild.
That's true. Maybe.
See, maybe
he sits in the fourth quarter.
It's possible. Trevor doesn't. So the thing with Trevor Lawrence is that because Clemson is built to run the ball so effectively.
Yeah.
He does not typically put up quite as many numbers as Joe Burrow does,
which is fuel for the Clemson's not that good fire, but it's not.
Yeah, I mean, he makes better throws than pretty much anybody else.
He's the second best quarterback in the country, in my opinion, behind Tua.
Yeah,
for me right now.
I mean, he's still QB1 in that class.
Right. Yeah, he's still QB1 in that class for sure.
I mean, he's right in front of QB2 Brock Purdy, but Justin Fields is QB3.
Oh wow. Okay.
Justin Fields got to prove to me he can stay healthy.
Tyler, I need you to save some heat for next season. Please, relax. Take a gallon of water and douse it on top.
I've already said that Brock Purdy is going to win the Big 12. He's going to get to the playoff. He's going to go second behind Trevor Lawrence. He is going to win me a college fantasy football championship.
What's next, the Heisman?
No, he's probably. I got no time for this trash award.
Listen, the Heisman didn't award Christian McCaffrey the award in 2015, therefore stopped existing in our eyes. Stopped existing.
I'm gonna tell my kids Christian McCaffrey was the 2015 Heisman winner.
That's the most important thing to tell your children, in my opinion.
Yeah.
All right, we talked about somehow, some way, our conversation on the ACC championship between Virginia and Clemson turned into Christian McCaffrey in 2015. So let's move forward to the
more interesting than the actual game is going to be.
Big facts. Tyler, do you want to go ahead and pick this glorified scrimmage for us, please?
So Ohio State's going to be playing Wisconsin. And,
well, hold on. They'll be on the same field.
They'll be on the same field.
I don't know if they're playing.
You know, I'm trying to think of a way to talk about this. I mean, Ohio State's going to win. Let's just,
cool.
Let's write both our name downs right now.
Just do it now.
I do think that in a similar way to the previous Wisconsin game that Ohio State played, I feel like the first quarter is going to be really slow for Ohio State. Wisconsin's got a good defense. They're going to come with a good game plan. Mm-hmm. But the moment that Ohio State figures it out, I don't think that Wisconsin's going to have much of a shot.
Yeah, no, neither do I.
I just really don't. Like, Michigan was able to take Chase Young out of it a little bit.
For a bit.
I mean, they basically, like, triple blocked him.
Right.
And were able to get some guys open. I don't think Wisconsin has that type of passing offense, and I don't think that, as great as Jonathan Taylor is, and he's great, I just don't think that a power running game and that's it is going to beat this Ohio State team. You got to have some elite speed. You got to have some athletes. You got to have a good quarterback. They got a serviceable quarterback in Jack Cohn. They got some good wide receivers. They don't have enough to beat Ohio State.
No, I don't think so either. I don't think it's happening. All right, Tyler. Here's the moment. We get to pick which game we want to make worth 2 points.
Okay.
So, Tyler, which game do you want to be worth 2 points?
The game that I am most confident in.
Yeah.
I'm not okay. I won't be cheap with this, and I won't pick like an obvious one.
I don't want to do that either.
No, I'm gonna pick a game that we split on.
Okay.
And I'm going to go, I'm very confident that App State is going to beat Louisiana.
Okay.
So I'm going to pick App State over Louisiana as my 2-point conversion.
I am also going to go with the game we split on. And like we said, we're not going to go with cheap things. We're not going to pick Clemson. We're not going to pick Ohio State. None of those things. I'm going to pick my hometown team, the team that up until my junior year of college.
Oh, the Miami Hurricanes?
You shut your mouth, my friend. I thought we were close. The disrespect will not be tolerated.
Close. That's the reason that I can be disrespectful to you.
You know the gif of the baby that like walks towards the phone and smacks it?
Yeah.
That's me right now to you. Just through Skype, I'm gonna smack you.
Smack me through the phone.
No, I'm gonna take the team that my family's had season tickets for like 6 years, and I went to more football games at that stadium than I did the Swamp up until like halfway through my junior year of college. So, yeah, I'm going to take FAU to beat UAB. I'm going to take them to be 2-time Conference USA champion in the past 3 years. And I'm going to hope that they get to play someone like Florida State or Tennessee or North Carolina in a bowl game. Because that's what I want. That is what the family needs.
Well, you know what you're going to get?
What am I going to get?
Probably. If they do win.
What?
You're probably going to get like a Michigan State.
Okay, but at least it's a Power 5. Like, I just don't want to play another. We played.
It would
Akron
suck if
2
you
years
played
ago.
another. Like if we played like a MAC team.
We played Akron 2 years ago and we dominated. Like,
yeah, that was boring. I watched that game.
Yeah, we were like.
I mean, like I knew you guys were gonna win, and it was kind of. It's one of those things where, like, even when you watch blowouts, it's kind of interesting because you want to see how at least I am. I love watching different offenses.
Right.
It's my favorite thing about college football.
Yeah.
Like from a schematic standpoint, is how different every offense is every single week.
Right.
But even that one, I was like, all right, this is boring.
Yeah, it was just too much. I just want to play someone like that. There was the last one that we saw was the Belk Bowl projected was FAU going up against North Carolina, and that looks good to me.
Yeah,
this good. Lane Kiffin offense going up against Sam Howell and Mac Brown, that would be awesome. That would be phenomenal. Anyway, so those are our picks for this week. Championships on Saturday and Friday. In the Pac-12, we both have Utah over Oregon. That's 8 o'clock on ABC Friday night. Then moving on to Saturday, we got the Big 12. Tyler has Baylor. I have Oklahoma. That's a noon game on ABC. At the same time on ESPN, we got the Sun Belt title game. I have Louisiana Lafayette. Tyler has App State. At the same time on ESPN2 is the MAC championship game. I have Miami of Ohio. Tyler has Central Michigan and Jim McElwain. At 1:30 on CBS Sports Network, or an allegedly illegal stream that I will use, we have UAB at FAU. Tyler chooses UAB. I choose the correct team, which is FAU. The American Conference Championship
I'm gonna regret
game,
this so bad.
You really are. The American Conference Championship game is at 3:30 on ABC. Is a rematch of last week's season finale. Cincinnati at Memphis. Tyler's going to take Memphis and future Florida State head coach Mike Norvell, and I will be taking Cincinnati. Then we got 4 o'clock on CBS, the SEC title game, LSU and Georgia. We both are going with LSU because why? To hell with Georgia.
To hell with Georgia.
Mountain West title game, 4 o'clock on ESPN, should be at 10:30, but who are we to say? We got Hawaii taking on Boise State in Boise, Idaho. Tyler and I both have our Rainbow Warriors, America's Nightcap. Cole McDonald had a farm EIEI title. The Hawaii Rainbow Warriors. Justice for the air raid. We both have them winning that conference. Then we have 2 cupcakes at the end of the night. ACC title game. Virginia Clemson, 7:30 on ABC. We both got Clemson. And the Big 10 title game. Ohio State, Wisconsin. We both have Ohio State. That is 8 o'clock on Fox. 2-point conversions. Tyler is doubling down on App State over Louisiana, and I am doubling down on FAU over UAB all aboard the Lane train. Tyler, I've already mentioned it once, but if anyone would like to drop a bag, they can do so at sidelinejudgment@gmail.com. Let us know what the deal is, and we'll be more than happy to work and accommodate in your ways.
And just in time for our bowl extravaganza coming up.
Baby, just in time. It's coming on up. Before we talk about our bowl extravaganza, Tyler, and our review episode next week, let's go ahead and talk about our absolute favorite segment, the flagship of this podcast, tweets that we have shared. Tyler, why don't you go ahead and tell me your favorite tweet that I have shared with you this week?
Favorite tweet is from Bruce Feldman. In case you missed it, I'm told that former Browns head coach Hugh Jackson has emerged as a strong candidate for the Arizona State offensive coordinator vacancy on Herm Edwards' staff, per source. You know how Nick Saban has the college football rehabilitation, college football coach rehabilitation center, the doctorate program down at Alabama? I am all here for Herm Edwards having an NFL version of that at Arizona State. Because he's got the NFL connections and all these. He's just like, I'm just going to come here and coordinate offense.
Well, he runs his program like an NFL program.
Oh yeah,
he says it all the time.
And I actually think that, like, Hugh Jackson, when he was just the offensive coordinator for the Bengals, was pretty good.
Yeah, because
he didn't have to do all the head coach stuff.
Right.
So if you just bring him in to call plays, I'm good with that.
Yeah.
Plus, you win differently. The thing is also he has a good quarterback, so that cannot be understated.
Yeah. Yeah.
When you have a good quarterback and good receivers, it's easier to call plays for that.
That's true.
So that's what I'm very intrigued by this.
I wouldn't mind seeing it happen. I mean, he's got what's his name from the Bengals as an assistant, as a advisor, the ex-Bengals coach.
I've got this actually quick side question based off this.
Yeah.
Utah's likely going to take a big step back next season because they lose a lot.
Yeah, they will.
Depending on how would you take Arizona State to win the South, or just USC not even knowing what coach they're going to have?
All right. Well, if we're going to do that, then what we got to do is we got to look at that entire conference. Okay, so we're going to talk about the Pac-12.
This is just the South, so
no, I know, but we're talking about the Pac-12 South. So you got in that conference Utah, USC, UCLA, Arizona State, Colorado, and Arizona. You can already throw out the window UCLA, Colorado, and Arizona, and you're left with Utah, USC, and Arizona State. If we're talking Utah regresses, would I take USC or Arizona State just straight up? I think right now, not knowing who the coach will be at USC, this is so disrespectful too. Clay Helton is the coach at USC. Like, I love how everyone is talking about him. Like, this is a man's livelihood. Anyway,
whatever. I know, I understand. I do mean that, but like, I mean, here's the thing. Even if Clay Helton is still the coach, I think I'm going to take Arizona State.
I agree.
Like,
I'm going to
really
take Arizona
early
State.
win total.
I like Jim Daniels, man. He's a good player.
That's the thing. Jim Daniels is really good. Really and he's a true freshman.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think Arizona State, they've lost some close games, and he also had some freshman games, but they could be really good next year.
Yeah, and I like Herm.
We say that Keaton Slovis is really good too.
Yeah,
but
agreed. I'll take Arizona State on that.
Yeah.
All right, Tyler.
What's your tweet that you shared with me?
Tweet that you shared with me. It's I'm gonna cheat. I'm gonna double dip. I'm gonna say my tweet, and then I'm gonna kind of spark another last minute conversation. Okay. This is a tweet by Tom Fornelli. It is quoting a tweet by Dan Wetzel. The original tweet by Dan Wetzel is as follows. The repetitive relic that is conference championship weekend is upon us. It's a waste of time that should be replaced with the quarterfinals of an 8-team playoff. Now, I didn't even bother to click on the link and read it. But before we get into Tom Fornelli's tweet, which is the one that I want to showcase, let me just say this. Repetitive relic that is conference championship weekend. Let me remind you, we didn't have a conference championship game until 1991 or 92? One or two?
I think it was 92.
92, when Alabama and Florida played in the first ever SEC championship game. Okay? Like, let's not get it twisted. This is not something
that's literally been around for less than 30 years.
This is not something that
college football as a sport's been around for 150.
Exactly. This is not a relic that is happening. This is a recent addition to the game in the grand scheme of the history of the game. And in my opinion, works really well. Now, what I think we need to renovate is the way the conferences are divided. I think we need pods, and we could have kind of like a situation with pods.
You could argue that's a relic.
You could argue that exactly, but we can go with that. But don't give me that conference championship weekend as a relic.
Yeah,
which leads into Tom Fornelli's tweet, which is, ask any player in a conference title game this weekend if the game is meaningless to them. The national championship isn't the only thing in college football, so let's stop treating it as such. And I think the second sentence in his tweet, the national championship isn't the only thing in college football, is spot on. We forget
very important to remember
that there are so many teams in this country that what would happen if every team was disappointed because they didn't win a national title game, there would be one happy fan base each year. You don't get stories.
This ain't the NFL.
It's not. No. You don't.
And I don't think it needs to be.
No, I agree with you. You don't get stories like Florida this year. We were happy with this season. This is a successful season. We'll talk about this on like the season post-mortem that we do later on. But like this is a successful season for us. We can argue it all we want, but that's.
I'm happy.
Arizona State, yeah, they're.
Look no further than Virginia Tech.
Exactly.
Neither of those two teams has any chance of going to the national championship this year. I mean, they were playing for only a conference championship, but even more than that, they were playing like for a rivalry. That doesn't mean anything on the national scale.
No,
but Virginia hasn't beaten them in 15 years. So what happens when they finally beat them at home? They rush the field. Bernardo Mendenhall and Bryce Perkins are hugging and crying in the post-game interview on the field.
So much
as fans surround them, because it means a lot to the players on the field. That's one of my favorite things to watch about this sport, that you only see really in super important postseason games in the NFL, and even then, not as much. It's just how much it means to those players. Mm-hmm. That's why I love conference championship weekend.
I do as well.
Because even if it doesn't matter, like for the playoff, that's a secondary thing. Dan Mullen talks about it all the time. A lot of coaches talk about it. Your primary goal is to win the conference.
Agreed.
Whatever happens after that is extra stuff.
Yeah. The national championship picture, yes, it's wonderful and you want to win a natty, of course you do. But the whole point of it is that this is an extra thing outside of your league. This is like taking all of the leagues and then combining them to see who's the best of all of the leagues. This is like, comparatively, this is like in European soccer. You win your individual league, but then you play in a Champions League to then be crowned the champion of Europe. If the Champions League was the only thing that mattered, these clubs wouldn't do anything. There's so many clubs that all they want to do is win the league. When Leicester won the league in 2015, Leicester City won the league in 2015, like, that was a big deal. That matters. That's the same thing, like, Missouri winning the SEC a few years, like 5-6 years ago. That was a big deal. You know what I mean?
They didn't win the SEC, they won the East. But
no, they won an SEC title.
No, they didn't.
Missouri has won an SEC title.
Just
look it up for me. I'm pretty sure it has. I'm probably absolutely wrong.
They had back-to-back appearances like 3 years into the conference.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is unheard of.
But even that, those are big deals. And so I like that tweet. You sent it to me. You captioned it. Tell him Tom in all caps, and I'm all with Tom. I love that tweet. It's about more than just the natty. Yes, we want to end the natty, of course you do, but you want to do that. Was I wrong?
They made it to back-to-back championships in 2013 and 2014.
Which
they
means
lost to Auburn in 2013
and
then Alabama in 2014.
There you go. Okay. Well, I guess I got ahead of myself.
But they were really close in 2013.
There you go. I got ahead of myself.
They could, if they had won, they could have made the national championship game that year.
That's wild. All right, so that's that tweet that I want to showcase. And then the last thing I want to talk about before we end the show. You sent me a tweet a couple hours ago by Nick Delatorre. It says, if this were the last college football playoff rankings, the Gators would face Oklahoma in the Sugar Bowl. I just want to point out that would be incredible. I would be very, very happy with the result.
You sure you wouldn't be like upset?
No, I wouldn't be upset. No, you know me. I'm a Gator. I'm a Gator first and foremost. Gators playing FAU, I'm a Gator. Gators playing Oklahoma, I'm a Gator. I cheer for the other teams because it's family, and I love my family.
You get to have, and if Gators won, you get to have bragging rights.
Oh, for a long time.
Which actually, we've never lost to Oklahoma, so we technically do have bragging rights.
Facts.
But
so
we've only played them one time, and we beat them in a national championship game. So,
I mean, that's my thing. I'm just hoping that we end up in the Orange Bowl.
Small boast, but alas.
A small boast, but humble boast, but alas. I'm hoping we end up in the well, yeah, I hope we end up in the national.
Slow your roll there,
Sorry.
Tiger.
No, but I hope we end up in the Orange Bowl
Can
because
you lose
I really
two
want to see
games
it.
in one weekend? That's the only way it's looking like it's possible.
I don't know, man. Listen, I would throw away the entire 5-wide season for chaos to ensue that somehow, some way has us in the national champ in the playoffs at the 4 seed. We would we would get a rematch. Hopefully, we would get a rematch with LSU. That'd be a fun.
Oh, jeez.
I told you, if we're neutral site LSU, we beat them.
I know.
All right. Anyway,
I know you believe that.
listen. Next week we will be back. We will be reviewing all of these games. We will be wrapping up our 5-wide, giving you the results of our season-long competition. We will also
we'll know the playoff teams.
We'll know the playoff teams, so we will be talking about the playoff teams. And then the next thing that we have is probably going to be, Tyler, our bowl extravaganza preview.
Yeah, we might wait a little bit. We might wait like an extra week or two before the first one, just so we want to accumulate information.
Exactly.
If we can.
We want to do some homework. So for sure, next
because we pick
week,
them all at once.
Yeah, we do them all at once on the air. We time ourselves out. We give basic 1 to 2 sentence explanations why, because there are so many games. So we'll be doing that.
Which this is a quick thing, just because we didn't say it. I'm assuming with the way that we have our 5-wide, we're predicting Utah to win the Pac-12. And I know we're split on the Big 12, but with predicting Utah to win the Pac-12 and Georgia to lose, we're predicting Utah to make it into the 4 seed, right?
Yeah, I think the committee has showed us that the only way Oklahoma can make it is if Oklahoma beats Baylor and Oregon upsets Utah, or if Oklahoma destroys Baylor,
like creams them, additionally Utah
struggles,
looks sloppy.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That's the only way I think that can happen.
Yeah.
So
I feel like we just need to say that real quick, but it's really weird. We don't really have a lot of controversy in that part.
Yeah, but it's what happened when these rankings first came out. What did we say? It's gonna work itself out, and here we are, championship week.
Every single year,
it works itself out. Our next episode will be that review, where we'll be talking about the final rankings, talking about the playoff teams, and we'll be reviewing all of the conference championship games. And then after that, we're going to take some time off, like Tyler said, to review, do our homework on the bowl season. We will be putting up our Bowl Palooza on ESPN like we have the past couple years. So be on the lookout for that. We will be tweeting that out on our Twitter account. And then, Tyler, I want to do a postmortem after the bowl game. I want to do a postmortem on the Gator season. And then we're going to have some special things coming up in the offseason.
We got a lot of ideas.
We went away last season during the offseason. We're not going to go away this time. It won't be as consistent, but we definitely will be putting out some content and some cool, interesting college football stuff, because this is, Tyler, a college football podcast.
Correct.
So therefore, we will be talking tons of college football well into the summer and into next season. Tyler, anything else that you want to say before we sign off?
Cannot wait to absolutely cream your ass in these picks this week and win the season picks competition emphatically. Pulling away for a late touchdown.
Okay. It's not going to happen, Tyler. Listen.
You've been saying it's not going to happen, and you still have not overtaken me in a couple weeks now.
It's because I had to set up the scene.
All right, okay.
Set up scene. I actually did overtake you once.
You did for like a week, and then I got it back.
I did. Shout out to, what game was that? Shout out to Minnesota for beating Penn State. Shout out to Minnesota.
Shout out to Wisconsin for beating Minnesota.
Shout out to
Wisconsin Badgers.
No,
Wisconsin Badgers.
Stop, my heart.
Wisconsin Badgers number 1.
No,
all right.
Oh my gosh, this has been another episode of Sideline Judgment. My name is Sergio.
My name is Tyler.
We are not biased, but go Tigers and go Owls.
Go App State.